Hello. Let's talk about 2020. So 2020 started out with celebrating the new year with chips and Doritos and just thinking it's going to be a great new year. I hosted a High School Musical event at Disney where I worked at the time because I love High School Musical, so it was super exciting to get to host that event. It was also 70 degrees one day in January, which was fun, but the world's ending. Then in February, I saw Pete Buttigieg at a few rallies that he did in New Hampshire. I even met him, which was really fun. I was super supportive of Pete when he was in the race, so it was like a huge deal to get to go to the rallies and see him. Even ended up on TV for a second. Also met a really cute person that day when I saw Pete that I totally planned on asking out, but we'll get to that. Then I ended February on this lovely leap day by going to urgent care because I woke up and physically could not get out of bed. I'd been having back problems in the morning specifically for a few weeks, and then finally this day it just exploded. Just like I literally, like, it was hard to get out of bed, but it was hard to lie down, and it was hard to sit, and it was hard to stand. And I was supposed to work that day, but I ended up having to call out all weekend, and it was a tough weekend because it was inventory weekend, but I ended up going to urgent care and was diagnosed with inflamed sacroiliac joint in my back. So I guess it's, I guess it's just treatable with like exercise and stretches, and a new mattress definitely helped. But I haven't had as many back problems since then, but back then it was like really bad. And then March started out with Pete Buttigieg dropping out of the race, which was unfortunate for a lot of reasons, because I was really supportive of him, so much that I actually volunteered to work for his campaign at the polls on Super Tuesday, but he dropped out on this day. So that was a bad weekend. Then fast forward 2 weeks, and my job closed temporarily due to, you guessed it, this was April. The one thing I did do in April, aside from being in pajamas all day and doing a lot of cooking and binge watching the entire series at Community, was I started my Instagram. May was spent the same way, quarantined, until May 25th, when George Floyd was killed. And it really sparked something in this country, and I think around the world. And it's so messed up because it's disgusting the way he was killed. But he didn't die in vain, clearly, because things got serious. Things got very serious in this country from here on. June 1st is when Voices That Give began. So Voices That Give was a global talent competition that I was in, and I entered as an author in the unique talent category. And so it began on June 1st, and basically it was like a weekly thing where you had to gain votes, and it was a way to raise money for Project Orphans to build a neighborhood in America for orphan and foster children. So every vote cost $1, and it was just a way to raise money and also, showcase people with talents. It was really, really fun. June 7th is when J.K. Rowling revealed herself as transphobic, so not much to say about that, really. There's a lot to say about it, but I think my feelings are shared. July had to be the weirdest and most bittersweet month of the year. It started out on July 3rd. I lost my job with Disney because they were closed. They closed in March, and then they didn't reopen until July. But I just didn't feel it was safe to go back and work there at the time, so I decided to leave. So it wasn't like I was let go or anything. I did decide to leave. But it was a bittersweet situation. But that's not the only reason July was bittersweet. The next day was 4th of July, where most of America is celebrating independence and having cookouts and watching fireworks. And then I wake up the next morning and find out that there were several shootings around the country. And it was the strangest thing, because I'm like, wow, here we all were celebrating Independence Day, and several people were shot and some killed on that same day. It's messed up. Fast forward a week later, and I ended up winning my category in Voices That Give. So it was super, super fun. I won the Unique Talent category, which meant I won a cash prize, and I won like a little gift package, and Jen Lilly announced my winning on her Instagram, and I ended up raising over $5,000 toward the village, so it was just really, really cool. And then a week later, my cat that I had for 16 years passed away. So things were not good after that. It was very, very difficult few weeks, and still now. Then in August, myself, my sister, and my mom all decided to take a road trip to Philadelphia to go to a drive-in concert. Obviously being super safe about it, staying in the car, social distancing, masks, all the things. So we were leaving the morning of August 19th to go to the concert that night, but not before I scraped my leg on a rusty metal thing in my room and went and got a tetanus shot. That was fun. Next day, went to Philadelphia. It was a really strange road trip. It poured rain on the way. We saw an 18-wheeler truck tip over on the highway. Had a really gross Philly cheesesteak. It was like a vegetarian cheesesteak. But we went to the drive-in concert. It was really, really cool. It was really fun. And that brings us to September, when I celebrated my birthday on the 13th. I turned 26, and I got pizza and cake, and my two aunts and my cousin did a little like drive-by parade thing for my birthday, so considering the circumstances, it was fun. And then in October, on the 9th, I launched my website, ashleyamberauthor.com, which we worked on like all summer, so it was really fun, and it was really like sudden, like, because I was kind of in this like rut where I like kind of wasn't on Instagram so much, and I kind of like almost stopped caring a little bit about my career. And finally I saw the finished website, and it was just kind of sitting there for a while, and I was like, you know what, I gotta launch this thing, and I need people to see this. So finally I just like suddenly decided that I was going to launch it, and I did it. And then on the 14th I had an article I wrote about gun control on Independence Day. I had it published on Justice Writers Forum on Instagram. And then Halloween was kind of weird because we didn't get a single trick-or-treater, which in a way is a good thing, but I was kind of expecting to, because I feel like people where I live don't take the pandemic super seriously. So I was kind of expecting to get trick-or-treaters, but we didn't get a single one. But I still had fun. I dressed up, got pizza, watched Halloween, did all the things. Then on November 2nd, I began my YouTube channel, which was super fun, and it's something I've always wanted to do, and I just never did it, and finally I just said, what the hell, I'm gonna do it. And the next day, which is also the day I posted my first video, was the presidential election. Hashtag Biden 2020. And then what seemed like the longest week ever, finally, Biden won! And then a few weeks later is Thanksgiving, which was sad. There was a lot of empty seats at the table for a lot of different reasons. So it was literally just me and my mom sitting there eating all the food. So yeah, it was sad, but what can I do? And finally, December. On the 14th, my short story Castle won second place in Heidi Slowinski's short story contest for November, which was super, super exciting and unexpected, because I really love that story, so just seeing it come in second was like incredible. And then Christmas, which strangely wasn't so sad for me, I think because in my family we don't really go out and do things and see family on Christmas Day anyway, so nothing really changed as much for me, but I know it changed for a whole lot of people, so yeah. Really weird year. A pandemic, Black Lives Matter, lost my cat, won Voices That Give, my writing came in second place, lots of shootings. Bye 2020. So yeah, if you also ripped up your calendar, let me know in the comments. Before I go, I do want to do a few shout outs to some awesome supporters. So I want to shout out at SidsLit on Instagram, at my_reading_adventures on Instagram, Minnie at Writing Tips with 2 Z's on Instagram, and X Creative Christy X on YouTube. Thank you guys so much for being so supportive. I so appreciate it. So yeah, if you enjoyed that little year in review, make sure you subscribe and hit like if you liked. Head over to ashleyamberauthor.com for my All Right Wednesday blog posts, and I will see you all next time. I saw Pete Buttigieg at a few